How you doing? Here we go, second video. Well, it's a third really if you take the test one into consideration, but we'll forget about that one. Now what I'm doing on these, I'm trying to retrieve some of my old videos from my previous channel, which was the Boozy Man review. But I'm going to have to redo them all again. I started off with this one here. We went over to Brierley Hill to the Vine, commonly known as the Bull and Bladder Batham's house. It's a real historic building, as you can see. It's as the boozers used to be back in them days. You had your various rooms, some of the original features, and some well-used furniture as well. This was the back room in there with the dartboard. Looks like they've still got a dart team going, which is good. I think the fact that Luke Littler coming on the scene has rejuvenated darts, especially with the youngsters. In fact, we started our own dart team in the Vic a couple of years back. Still going strong now. Now this room, you got a bit of memorabilia on the walls. Have you had with most of these old pubs? It does tell you the helps you along with the history of the buildings and the breweries and the people that use it. Batham's beer is quite popular, very well known, mild and bitter, which, as I say, is brewed on these premises here. You got some of the old features, some lovely tile work. Now in this room here, they had a buff lodge, and apparently the meeting was at the first Monday of every month. But as I say, it was a few years back when I done these videos. So if you are interested in the buffs, you better check if you want to go along to a meeting, because I'm not sure whether it's still running. But I'm a buff. I joined when I was in Kent. That's where my mother lodges. It's a good night out. You raise a bit of money for charity, you have a laugh. There's some of the jewels there. Now, you weren't allowed to show them in public at one time, but times change. I don't know. Perhaps it is acceptable now. And here's some of the other features. This one's the bar, with some of the old pictures of the brewers and the people. I think that was the original landlord and landlady, from what I gathered while I was in there. And also they do some good food, which is quite common. The cobs and the pies. The cobs are like mini cottage loaves, and the pies. It's all good stuff. Apparently the cobs are that big that mainly people share them, half each. And there's your spirits and your wines, etc. Now, while I was here, I went for a Batham's mild, and as you can see, it's an absolute cracker. I'm not normally a mild drinker, but I must admit that was a cracking pint, and it was a good visit. Right, what I'm going to do now, thanks to the modern technology, I'm going to shoot over to another pub we went and visited in Breward, the Swan. Another one that you probably a lot of people will already know. It's quite a popular destination, Breward. Got a few nice pubs, and this one, in my opinion, is the best of the lot. Being a beer drinker, they always have a good selection of ales, and well kept. It's a nice little locals pub. As you see, we turned up at dusk and the lighting was coming on, give it a nice little ambience. So we went in and decided to partake in a beverage. So it's, as I say, it's a locals pub. It's owned by a family who took back control, because for a while it was they had a landlord who ran it for them, but the family took it back, and now it's a family concern again. Here's some of the ales here. There's always a nice selection of ales, several each week. The last time I went in, I had the HPA, but on this visit, they had the Six Nations, which is that one there, which was quite citrusy, which I tend to go for. So it should give you a clue there that the rugby was on. And again, you got the cobs and crisps, snacks, your spirits and your wines. You also have an array of fizzy drinks, if that's if that's your particular poison. But it's another pub with plenty of interesting features. There's a bit of history to it, as is the village as a whole. We tend to go there, especially on a nice afternoon. We always, well, 9 times out of 10, we seem to get a conversation with someone. It's quite friendly. And on this occasion, as I said, going back a few years, it was winter, so they had the log fire, which is always welcome in sight. Anyway, we sat in the lounge at the back here. There's a good lady wife there. She's a bit camera shy, so I didn't linger too long. But once again, they got the history of the place on the wall in pictures and bits of memorabilia. As you know, Brewood's a very old village. So there were some really nice pictures, black and white, of the village as it was back then, and it was a really enjoyable afternoon. Now, I'm going to try and upload a few more from the old, excuse me, frog in the throat, from the old channel, so you can bring it all up to speed. But I will also be making some new ones. I've got a nice one coming up because we're off on a real ale festival at the end of the month. So keep your eyes peeled. It's always good to see you. And whatever you do, please subscribe. And I'm just going to get this point down my neck now. So until the next time, cheers.